Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our 2022 Kia Niro EV. The 22 Niro EVs are the last of the first generation of these, meaning you get to enjoy all of the mid-cycle refreshes, upgrades, and manufacturing process updates that Kia learned throughout the life of this car before they changed everything up for the next model year. Things like a little bit better cooling, better battery management, and control computer programming, that kind of stuff. These came with a 64 kilowatt hour battery pack in them, and that gives you an EPA estimated about 239 miles of range. It's got a 200 horsepower front wheel drive motor, so with that instant EV torque, when you stab it can really get out of its way too. Anecdotally, the owner of our dealership actually drove up to Phoenix to drive this back, and he left Phoenix at 100%, got down here at about 35 or 38%. So that's about 140 to 160 miles of driving at 80 miles an hour, because I-10 is a high-speed highway down here in the desert. So if you need to go get out of town and go do some road tripping, this has got pretty good legs for that. It's got CCS fast charging up front, and with an adapter, it can run the Tesla supercharging network as well. So you don't really have to worry about scarcity of charging options. This one has 57,000 miles on it, and it was a lease buyout car from Southern California that then made its way to Phoenix before making its way to us. It's had its 50,000 mile service done back in 2025, and it's got a new 12-volt accessory battery up under the hood, so it's nice to see that someone went through and actually did the periodic maintenance on these things and tried to keep it mechanically nice during their ownership. Another cool thing about it being 57,000 miles is that means it still falls under all of Kia's factory warranties. The 5-year, 60,000 mile factory new car warranty, and that 10-year, 100,000 mile battery warranty. One cool note with that, because it still falls under its factory warranties, we've got a pretty good hookup where we can get what are called wrap warranties, which piggyback off of the factory warranties at a pretty well reduced cost over a full standalone. So a little bit of extra nice peace of mind there. But let's get under the hood, in the car, and out for a drive. Not a lot to look at. Kia, with their packaging, no frunk on these, but they pushed everything as far forward and up as they could to maximize interior space in the cabin for you. Really simply laid out here. The only things you as the owner have to worry about are your windshield washer fluid here. This is that new 12-volt battery there. You've got your coolant reservoir here and your brake fluid reservoir right behind it. And if you're the kind of person that likes to pull plastics off of stuff, this still has the factory plastic wrap on a couple of components here, so you can get the joy of peeling that back. Back here in the trunk, manually pops, but the lift gates carry it right on up. Decent space back here. This has the Harman Kardon sound system in it, so you've got a subwoofer here and a pretty decent cargo area here. This actually folds into 3, up and out of the way, and you've got some out of sight, out of mind storage here. Hard plastic bins here and here. You've got your 110 volt at home level 1 charger cable there, and if you pull this out, it still has the factory roadside assistance kit, meaning you get your fix-a-flat goo there, your tire inflator here, tow hook, and the screwdriver is still in there, which is pretty nice. Little stuff like that usually doesn't remain in these for long. To note back here, the back seats do fold completely flat. You've got a tab here, lift up, boom, down it goes. Same thing on this side, up, boom. And those tethers are for anchor points for larger child seats. Thing into the back seat here, center armrest, you got your 2 cup holders in there, and I'll spin around, plop myself down. To note, this is where I sit as a driver, and I've been filming, so the seat's a little further back and leaned than normal. Got a decent amount of room here. You've got rear seat passenger vents, a little storage bag on the back of the passenger seat, and big cup holder, big bottle-sized cup holders on the doors. You also have those dots denoting the bases for child seat anchors on both driver and passenger seats. And spinning this around, shut myself in here, I am 6'1", 270 pounds. I've got a decent amount of headroom, good gut room, and a good amount of knee room. These things are pretty well packaged, meaning even big people like myself can fit pretty comfortably in the back. This is where you're going to spend most of your time, so this is where we're going to spend most of our time. Run you through it real quick. Power windows, power mirrors, power door locks, and the mirrors do fold in on command or when you lock the car. Good for, tight parking spaces or double checking that it's locked as you're walking away. Here are some just general controls. Dimmer, blind spot monitor. This is for your lane keep assist, and that's your traction control there. Down below are EV specific things, meaning your charge timer, where you can automatically, or you can turn it off and bypass it, where if you have it set to charge at specific times, take advantage of off-peak electricity for cheaper charging. And this is your charge door and charge port lock. Up here on the stalks, it's got auto headlights with fog lights. So honestly, set it to auto, let it do its thing. When it gets dark, it'll turn them on. When you turn the wipers on, it'll turn them on to comply with the laws. Here in the center stack, simple gauge cluster. Just your range, state of charge there. Your electron usage, if you're efficient, it's in the blue band. Power winds all the way up, or when you're in regen, it drops down below. And this center menu has a ton of information and personalization settings in it. So just lots of stuff to go through, lots of information available at your fingertips depending on how nerdy you want to get when you go for a drive. Here on the wheel, you've got your phone and radio controls here. Behind the wheel, these silver paddles are for your regen. So I'll show you this really quick. This has a few different settings for its regen. It can run in auto, which will automatically adapt how strong the regen is based on your forward speed, keep it from being jarring. But if you want to override it and have it manually lock itself in, you can have it as 0 regen with the right pedal, and as you pull on the left paddle, 1, 2, and 3 is going to be max regen all the time. And if you pull and hold the right paddle back a little bit longer, it'll give you a regen boost. So it'll go to its absolute maximum to help you slow down more quickly and recover more electrons. Over here on the right-hand side of the wheel, this and this control those center menus there. All the rest of this is cruise control stuff. So this has Kia's intelligent cruise, meaning lane keep, following distance, and adaptive cruise control. So this will set to keep it in its lane, give you a little bit of lane centering, controls your following distance, and this just controls your speed. Now, uniquely enough, this will slow all the way to 0, but when you're ready to pull away again, you either press the plus or the accelerator pedal, and it will resume maintaining following distance behind the car in front of you. Makes stop and go traffic a little bit nicer to deal with. Main infotainment screen here. It's a pretty clean, nice display. So this is just its home screen. Scroll to the right, and then you've got all of your Kia apps and even more. So you've got like the integrated user's manual is all digitally in here. Makes it way easier to search for than thumbing through the index of a physical book, honestly. Radio media is Bluetooth auxiliary, USB in. Most importantly, though, this here phone projection. That is for your line-in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This isn't wireless, but you whack it into that USB port there, and then boom, your phone is up here. If you don't want to use the phone, it does have its own internal navigation system that does over-the-air updates and all that good stuff. And if you plug in routing, it will show you your projected remaining range, if you need to stop at a charger before you get to your destination, and where they are along the route with estimated charging speeds for each charger, which is kind of a convenient thing to have if you're not using some of the EV-specific maps apps on your phone. One other cool thing they integrated in this is HD radio data. That's HD radio is digital data encoded over standard FM radio signals. So you can get stuff like free real-time traffic updates, locations of road work, and if you're somewhere where you have to particularly worry about the weather, you have live Doppler radar integrated in here too, all over FM airways. So it's free, and it's just there for you to take if you want it. Down below, you've got a series of the hotkeys here. If you don't feel like touching up on here, you can access things like the map, dial in navigation destinations, radio, media, all that kind of stuff is all accessible from right down there if you don't feel like playing with the touch screen. Below that is your climate controls. Now, again, this being an EV, it is genuinely best just hit auto, let it pick a temperature you want, and just let it do the rest. It'll get to that temperature as quickly and efficiently as possible, but you can override it, play with it however you want to. Here, a nice thing for efficiency is down here where it says driver only. If it's just you in the car and you want to save even more electrons, this will focus all the air on you as the driver to save a little bit of power while still keeping you comfy. Down below, you've got 12-volt cigarette lighter, USB for the line in, and a dedicated USB fast charger there. This here is your gear selector, left for reverse, middle for neutral, right for drive, park right there in the middle. Heated seats, driver and passenger. Auto hold will keep you from creeping when you go to a full stop. If you need to use an electric parking brake, that's it right here. And your drive mode button here will cycle you through your 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. And if you hold it down and need to get every ounce of range you can out of it, Eco Plus. It dulls the climate control and it puts it in its maximum efficiency mode, even putting a limit on the speed at 60 miles an hour. So just things to, if you really need to go far and it's not a particularly warm day, you can really get every possible inch of distance out of this thing's battery pack. Down here in the center, you've got a little scroll top cover, and I really like what Kia does with these. Your cup holders, if you need something big, it opens up, but you can just bum and boop for your cups. They're spring loaded. It's kind of fun. Center console here, pretty deep, and in the middle of it there, you have got another USB charger hidden down there. These are the cloth inserts with the synthetic leather, which honestly, for this being a darker car, these cloth inserts are a godsend because they tend to stay way cooler here in the desert heat and keeps you from getting, sticky back when it's particularly sweaty. This has got the Harman Kardon sound system in it, and the only other thing of note up here, excusing my personal cell phone in there ringing, our dealer plate, some detailing supplies and rags. It's got a pretty deep glove box in it. Up here you have your 3 little quick touch buttons for Kia's UVO system. Think OnStar, but for Kia. Other than that, visors come out, extend, do all the things. But let's get driving. We're in the parking garage. Windows are open so you can hear all the noises echo, but this way, if it's going to make any suspension noise or anything like that, you'll hear it bouncing off of the walls. I want to show you quick while we come down here. 2 things. One, as you change drive modes, you'll see the gauges change a little bit, as does its regenerative braking feel. But specifically with the regen, since it's pretty open and I can show you, if you hit it to 3, take your foot off, it'll slow you down. But if you pull that paddle in, it'll bring you to a full stop. And if you hit auto hold, it'll keep you from creeping. So it's not full one pedal driving, but it is pretty darn close. All in the name of, maximizing efficiency. So take a listen as we come down here. It's always fun to get the tires to chirp a little bit on the concrete here. Make sure that if it was going to squeal or do anything funny, you'd hear it in here first. But yeah, it's a 4-year-old EV with less than 60,000 miles on it. We know these things are going to be quiet. And let's say, you want to park next to that little Fusion there. This does have a pretty decent resolution backup camera. Now, of course, my phone's not going to play that nice with it because of glare, but it's got the predictive course lines and everything. So as you go and back it on in, it shows you pretty nicely where everything's going to lie, and those distance lines are pretty accurate on there for your backing. Pulling out of the parking garage onto some Tucson city streets here, I'll put us in the worst case scenario for noise on the tram tracks, but I also want to show quick, if I go to cruise, set its speed, and I hit this little guy here. Now, this isn't really its preferred use case, but it will maintain speed. If there's a vehicle in front of me, it would compensate and match their following distance. And it does, in fact, work even with a little bit of lane keep. It'll help bump you into the center of your lane, even here on kind of tight, low-speed municipal streets. So it's kind of fun to show off a system working well in a scenario it wasn't expressly designed for, to show how capable it can really be. But Get up to speed here on the interstate, I'll actually show you really quick. If I was to take this cruise and set it all the way up to, let's just say 75, because it's a highway, you know, we'll go all the way to 80. But look, it will manage its speed based on the vehicle in front, and when I actually get out into the lanes here on the highway, it will not only accelerate up to or as close to the cruising speed as it can, but when that steering wheel turns green down below, lane keep is on, and it'll just sit here maintaining following distance and speed. But let's give it a little squeeze, get ourselves some open highway, and show you how good this thing cruises at actual speed. Like, it's an EV and it's a hatchback, so you'd expect a little bit of noise, but at 80, the wind noise in this thing is great. I mean, it's comfortable, it's competent, and like, if you need to do a highway blast, you really don't have anything to worry about in this. Quick 0 to 40 to 0, since we have some frontage road all to ourselves. We're in sport mode. Traction control is on, because the last time I did this, it just spun tires through 40 miles an hour. But yeah, traction control on, in sport mode. 3, 2, 1, go. And 40. Right to a stop. You can't beat EV torque, and these things with the regenerative braking, they stop really well using regen and physical brakes. But there you go. Nothing weird hiding in the suspension or braking systems under full accelerative or decelerative load. If you're looking for a great, low mileage, new EV all-arounder, these things are pretty hard to beat. If you want to make an appointment to come see this vehicle, all of our contact information will be listed in the description below. And in just a second, our phone number will be on screen so you can call us or text us more easily. As always, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.